walking alone in the middle of the night. We shine brighter than a diamond. We were strangers at the start. Now we can't be apart. Sitting in the back of the cab.
Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well today. Sorry it's been so long since the last video upload. I recently moved down to Texas. I've actually tried to record this video a couple of times now, and I've been having some issues, some audio issues. Recorded once, went the whole way through, and looked back at it and didn't have any audio. And then did another time, and I wasn't really happy with the product. So we're gonna go ahead and knock this out now. And today we're gonna be expanding on the tutorial we did previously, where we added some automation into our stock trading bot. And today we're going to be looking at web scraping, which web scraping is the process of going to a website with your Python script and pulling some data off there that's useful for whatever you want to do with it. It could be it has a multitude of different applications, but today specifically for us, we're going to be looking at applying it to our stock trading bot and pulling some data from the web. So the first thing you're going to want to do is find a website that has the data you want on it, preferably in kind of an easy to access manner. So as you can see on this one here, we've got some technicals for Apple, our stock that we're trading. And you can see it has these gauges here with like sell, buy, strong sell based off of different things, moving averages, oscillators. And if you scroll down further, it has a lot of data down here with all kinds of different oscillators, moving averages, and what the indications are based off of that. So the first time I made this on my own before I started making videos on it, one of my first attempts was I was just looking at all of these different indications here, whether it's neutral, buy, or sell, and I was just making a sum with everything and seeing what the indication was. And if something was indicating buy on a big enough number of these, then it would go ahead and execute that trade, and then it would monitor that until a certain amount of them then said sell, and it would go ahead and sell that and move on. But today we're not going to get into that too much. We're just going to do some really simple stuff so you can get the basic concept down, and we'll expand upon it more later. It's also something, once you understand kind of how it works to get started, it's pretty easy to expand upon it yourself. So I'm going to go ahead. I recently wrote this. I was going to make a video on it, decided against it. This was a match predictor that I was kind of working on, just some very simple web scraping stuff to look at rankings for Counter-Strike, which is a game that I like to watch esports for. We'll look at some teams and tell you the rankings and stuff like that. But today we're just going to grab all of this and plop it over into here. Sadly, I'm recording this after trading hours, so we're not going to be able to test the entire script, but we'll do the web scraping portion and kind of comment that out. And we'll actually put some of that just over here in this spare file that I always have to test that out and show how that works separate from this. So once you find that website that has the information on it that you want, there's a couple different things you can do. You can inspect the page, which what that'll do is pull up this little sidebar here. And it's super useful because as you scroll through, it's going to highlight the different portions of what you're looking at. So for example, let's say this cell here is what we want to pull from this page. So we're going to scroll through here and we can find it right there. It's this exact element in this HTML that is writing cell on the screen there. And something I want to show off quick. I did this kind of without even thinking about it because I've done this so many times. But wherever you click to inspect, like let's say right here, inspect, it's going to pull up the HTML specifically around that thing that you're looking at. So see, I clicked on that 3, and it's pulling up everything around that. And you can scroll through this on your own. You can kind of like say like I want something down further, like inside of here, let's say. You can expand down and kind of work your way through and figure out what the thing is that you're looking for exactly. But that's just a handy trick to know, so you don't really have to go digging through everything. You can just say like, okay, I want this, whatever this is, I want this, and I'm going to inspect that, and it'll give me the HTML all around that. So from here, we're going to be using Python with a headless, I use Selenium as my WebDriver. So what that's going to do is that's what's going to open the pages. And then when I say headless, what I'm meaning is it's going to open it up in the background. So you're not going to see the web page. I might recommend leaving it so that you can see what's going on while you're testing, because if you do this in a non-headless mode and it crashes before you close the browser in your code, which is a very important part. You have to make sure, if we hop over here, you can see at the very bottom I have this driver.close. If something happens where it crashes before it reaches that statement, you're going to be in trouble because each time you run it, it's going to be making an instance in the background. You're not going to see it, and it's going to start slowing your computer down. I've actually crashed my computer a couple times trying to do some different experimenting and stuff with looping through and continually opening up new web browsers. So you're going to want to add all of these. We have these from last time, the alpaca and time. Get rid of this duplicate here. Some of these other ones, so beautiful soup. What that is it's just a web scraping tool that kind of helps make sense of some of this stuff. So like if we look this thing we're looking at here, this cell, there's all kinds of HTML around it that we don't really care about. We really just care about the text portion. So beautiful soup really just gives you an easy way to pull out that pertinent information and kind of throw the rest of the soup away. So what we're going to go ahead and do, I'm just going to go ahead and pull some stuff from here over to my test.py so we can work this out. I'm just going to grab all this. We're not going to be using the alpaca stuff to demonstrate this, but just you'll need that when you're actually writing code. So first thing we're going to want to do is set up this URL page. So here you see I have this page, which was the one I was using to pull stuff for Counter-Strike. We're going to get rid of that, and we're going to go ahead and put in our URL right here. So we got this TradingView, NASDAQ, technicals. Put that right in here. Just save that right off the bat because you'll be using it quite a few times later as you open up the web browser and run it. I'm actually going to run this in headless so we can see what's going, or in not in headless, so we can see what's going on as we run through it. This right here, this couple lines of code, you could do this all in one line. I like splitting it up because it's easier to visualize a little bit. This is what's going to set my option to have headless mode turned on right there. Headless equals true. So we can go ahead and pull this all over. And I'm just going to set that to false instead of true. You don't have to set it. By default, it's going to be false. So it'll automatically pull up the page. But if you set it to true, you won't see the page at all in the background. So we'll run that both ways just as a demo. So that is setting up kind of our environment. We haven't done anything with this web driver yet. We've just initialized it. So now moving forward, let's skip a space here so we have a little bit to look at. This right here, driver.getURL page, is going to go ahead and open up whatever this URL is in our driver. So if let's just put a driver.close right here. So if we run this right now, we should just see this web page pop up for a second and then close right away. Let's put a time.sleep. So it'll pop up on the page, be around for a couple seconds, and then go away. I didn't set up my PowerShell before. Let's go ahead and get that up. Navigate to our folder. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and Python 3 test.py. So as you can see here, this is the bot. I haven't clicked anything. This is the bot opening up that web page, and it gives you this little Firefox gives you this little guy here, let you know it's a bot. So it's opened up the web page, and then when we do that driver.close, it closes the web page, and the code ends because it's all we've written so far. So that's what that's going to do. I do sometimes put in a sleep. As you can see, there's one right here. Depending on how big the page is and where the things you're trying to access are, sometimes the page won't load fast enough, and you have to give it some time to load before you try to pull stuff from it. So the next thing we're going to explore is this driver.find elements. So driver.find, and here actually, so you can see there's a bunch of different methods for finding different elements in a page of HTML. My go-to is always XPath because it's very specific. It tells you like the exact location of something rather than pulling a whole class of elements or something like that. But you can play around with different methods. There is definitely use cases where some of the other ones are better than using XPath, but XPath is normally the one I go to for something like this. Then, once you have that set up, you're going to want to come back over to our page. We're trying to pull this little piece of text here. So I'm going to right-click here, copy, and then you don't want the XPath, you want the full XPath, because this XPath here, we'll go ahead and do a quick demo, is going to be relative. So it's using this like technicals root and then giving the rest of the XPath. That's going to not, it's not going to work. It's not going to allow you to pull what you're looking to pull with that because it's relative to your position on the page. Whereas if we go back and copy the full XPath here, that will be a really long string. Also, you got to put it in, make it a string. There you go. So this really long thing will go the whole way from the HTML, the head of the page, all the way down to this span where our text is at. We need to set that equal to something. So let's say education equals that. So it's going to go ahead and find that element on that page and put it into this variable. However, bear in mind that's going to be, so here, we'll go ahead and just do print, just to demonstrate indication. So this is not going to give us this cell here. It's going to give us a kind of a goopy string of stuff. So if we go back here, run it again, let it take its time, load the page, pull that. So here we go. It's giving us a Selenium WebDriver Firefox web element, right? That's kind of useless to us. So what we're going to want to do is utilize that beautiful soup library, and that allows us to do indication, which it knows is a Firefox element already, .text. And what that'll do is actually print out the text portion of this that we want to see. So here it goes, opening up the web page again, finding that XPath of what we're after, and then it's going to go ahead and driver.close, and we get this cell right here, which is what is on the web page here. So that's kind of a basic demonstration of what you can do with web scraping, and you can see pretty easily with all the other information on here how you can figure out what trading strategy you want to use, whether you want to go based off of RSI or some other oscillator, and you could pull specific things in here and specific values or just the overall indication based off of what TradingView is telling you. You can also, I'm not going to demonstrate it right now, we'll do it in a separate video because I just want to get this out, kind of basic tutorial, but you can also have the WebDriver click different things and change what you're looking at, and obviously that changes. So like if you want to do a day trading bot, you might want a shorter time period, like 30-minute, 15-minute, and you can, all the things will change, and you can pull the data more quickly or however you want to do that. But there's you can set something as a button and then do button.click, and that'll go ahead and open a different page, click, navigate through the page. It gets really complicated really quickly and really in depth. But that's kind of the basics right here. You can see how that would apply to putting it in here, and then instead of just checking the price of it and buying it if it's at a certain price. We can now buy it based off of the indication that TradingView is giving us, or based off of some other oscillator or moving average. So that's what we're going to cover today. We'll get in more in depth, and I'll always be around to answer questions in the comments. Contact me via email or head over to the website. But yeah, that said, I just wanted to really quickly thank you guys. I've been seeing like some decent support on the first couple of videos in this series. Let me know what else you'd want to see. I'm going to keep making videos. Sorry it's been such a long delay, but I should be in a position now where I can record a little bit more often, get my setup done down here in Texas, and then put out some more quality content for you to learn and experiment with. So with all that said, I hope everyone learned something. Leave a like if you did. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Outside of that, have a great day, everybody, and I will see you in the next.
Come along, I was wrong. Please don't let me be.